LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
He found a way. For those of you who didn't think it was possible, Denny Hamlin found a way one more time. I don't have any sympathy. Are you kidding me? Hello there, everyone. Todd Bailing in sunny, warm Phoenix, Arizona, site of last week's championship race and the banquet this past Tuesday night, joined by my three cheesehead partners, all enjoying the winter wonderland that is Wisconsin, starting with Brian Schmidt on the eastern third of the state over in Oostburg, USA. Hi, Brian.
Morning. Yes, far cry from what we had last week when I was in sunny Arizona. It's a miserable 30 degrees. There's some white crap on the ground, but hey, Oostburg's home of the 2025 boys state soccer champs. They won their championship yesterday, so we got that going for us.
A couple of championships out of that
Yes.
little town this year. That's pretty good. Then crossing over the state to our left coast along the mighty Mississippi, PJ Noodleman. Hi, PJ.
Hey, hi there. No snow over here, but we are at 28 chilly degrees with wind.
Oh, geez, that's depressing to hear about that. Don't tell me about that stuff. I don't even want to hear. And then sliding back over to the greater Milwaukee area, Dan Margetta, who's in beautiful St. Francis, Wisconsin. What's it doing by you?
Well, there's that white stuff on the ground here too, which is not good. I'm not shoveling it yet, so that's good. I guess I'll take that for now. But it's nothing like we were last week in Arizona. And I don't think Denny Hamlin found a way to lose that championship. Chris Gale found a way to lose that championship.
Yeah,
I blame the crew chief on that.
It completely. That was it completely. And Brian, you guys said you were even talking about it when you were watching the pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, the way the pitting was set up, Kyle Larson was pitted way over on the backstretch area, and Denny Hamlin was right in front of us. And Larson goes in. We can't really see his pit stop, and Hamlin's coming around, and we see Hamlin coming around the bend. And shortly after Hamlin gets to his pit, here comes Larson around the bend, and I look at Dan and I go, "You better take two." They drop the jack. They go around the other side. We're like, "Oh, here it goes!" And the crowd went nuts when that happened, because they could tell. Larson goes out and another 5-6 cars go by, and then Hamlin finally gets off. And you're like, with 2 laps to go, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that off.
And you got to think who you're racing there. You're not racing to win that race. You're racing the other 4 championship competitors. The 24 was buried. He caused the caution, hit the fence. He was not going to beat you. The 19 was out of tires because he had his issues earlier, so he had nothing to take. The only car you were racing there was the 5 car, and the 5 only had 2 tires left because he had issues earlier in the race before too. So you got to know what you're doing there. That at least you're going to be, if you take 2, the worst you're going to be is even with the 5.
And Larson wasn't a front-running car all day.
No.
In the post-race, you hear him talk about how, well, we saw it in the truck race. Yeah, well, in the truck race, Heim and Ty were the 2 best trucks all day. Like, pretty much, there was no questioning that. Right. Larson wasn't that good. Hamlin had the best car all day. All Hamlin has to do is get off pit road in front of Larson, and it's a done deal, and it's over.
Yep.
And I thought, that's what you got to do. And I don't know if the spotter said it. I haven't heard any traffic. But if you're the spotter up there, as soon as you see Larson taking 2, I'd key that mic and say, Larson took 2, Larson took 2, and hopefully Gale would think, all right, let's just audible and take 2, but he didn't. So,
yeah.
And the crowd went wild because I tell you what, that was like being at a home sporting event when Larson won that thing. I mean, there's some Denny Hamlin fans there, but I'd say the vast majority of the fans were really happy with what they saw.
Oh, absolutely. And the interview just kind of blew me away that Hamlin, he feels so bad, and everybody understands why and what there was, and he came close again. And now that he's up in his 40s, how many more chances is he actually going to have at it, and blah, 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 blah. But so he didn't make his crew chief look bad. He actually said, I totally support the idea that we took 4 tires. What are you think? That's why you lost. Why would you still? He said, I would still take 4. Why? Explain this to me.
I think Denny's kind of matured a lot since before. He kind of knows the big picture game, and you just kind of take one with the team. You win as a team, lose as a team kind of thing, and he kind of stuck with that. And this might have broken him though. I don't know. I had so many vibes of Carl Edwards at Homestead. I was there in 11 when Edwards tied Tony Stewart. I remember watching him look in at the media center while Tony Stewart was doing his interview, and just the look on his face was, what more could I do? He did everything he could do right, and he still lost. And then 5 years later, in 2016, it happened to him again. He was out front winning. They threw a bogus caution then, and he got crashed, and he had the same kind of look. I didn't expect him to actually retire, a couple of weeks from there, but it was that same kind of like broken feeling, like maybe I just can't ever win this thing.
Yeah, it definitely looked that way when they had the in-car camera on him. I mean, I actually felt really bad for him.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Well, it's if you are human and you see somebody just
Of
broken
course.
like that, you feel it too.
And make no mistake, when NASCAR, specifically Brian France, came up with this format, this is exactly what they were looking for. It was, and as an added bonus, they come up with a shit tire. Those tires were terrible, blowing left and right, putting guys in the wall. And that talk about adding an X factor to the surprise at the end of the race. If it wasn't for that 24 car never would have hit the wall, and we wouldn't have gone and had another caution, and we wouldn't have had a tire change where Chris Gale would have screwed it up.
Well, I don't know if it was really the tire. It's what the teams were doing to the tires. They were running lower air pressure than Goodyear recommended. And when they come out with a tire, Goodyear gives you a baseline of what the tire is designed for. And these teams are pushing the envelope on it, and that's what you got. Not everybody had tire problems. It was only the ones that were pushing the limit. And when you start the tire pressure that low, you have that much more contact on there. You use a lot of brakes, which creates a lot of heat, and it was very warm last Sunday there, and that's why they were blowing the tires out. They were basically melting the bead and hitting the wall. So if it was a lot of this was on the teams, So I wouldn't throw Goodyear under the bus with this, because they wanted a tire that was softer, so you had a better race. And I would say, by and large, that was probably one of the better races you see at Phoenix. So you don't want a hard-ass tire that's not going to allow you to have the coming and the going and the different, factors of it. So the teams screwed up more so than anything.
But why so many? How come it doesn't happen every week if it's this way?
Well, it's not the same tire every week, and the guys, this tire, I said it was a lot warmer, and the heat is what was creating the problem with the tire. I mean, there were a couple of them had tire wear, but most of it was a heat-related issue.
Aren't you kind of stuck in a box in this deal? There's not much you can do to gain an advantage speed-wise on these cars.
Exactly.
Right? He really kind of got you tight on that deal, so you kind of have to go on the edge, and you play with air pressure, you play with camber, and you're playing with fire doing that, but that's why everybody is doing it, because there's no other ways to kind of get ahead a little bit.
Deanna Nottestad, who is a regular listener to this program, just reminded me that she's heartbroken for her son. I think his name is Jason, isn't it? Justin, that's it. He's been on Denny's team for years, and she felt so bad for her son. Well, I can understand that. Okay. The compassion in me is just flowing right now.
And when you take all that stuff away, this is what you got to show. You got to show who won the race. You got to show, the trophy presentation. You got to show all that stuff. You can't be switching that over to the online streaming stuff, because that's not what people are seeing. People are going to turn it off, or people are going to just let their TV go to Football Night in America. If you want your sport to advance, and this is what your big push is, then you got to make sure that the people that are broadcasting it to you show everything to everybody.
Yeah. And I don't know. Once again, NFL is king. NASCAR is just something to take up time before football pregame starts. And that's pretty much how they treat it, Come on. And Blaney, what a popular win it was. And how about Keselowski? Where the hell did he come from at the end of that race, That was pretty good. Hey, we're just a little past our break time. We're glad you're tuned in. We're going to sneak away, and we have a special guest that's going to be on the program when we come back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And EMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. EMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Welcome to the program. Geez, I can't tell if we're actually hooked up with our caller. Matt, do you want to give me an indication?
No, I need the number, please.
It didn't show
Check your
up.
message. Check your
Dan.
chat.
Dan. Yep.
Wow. And my apologies for this. I mean, sometimes, stuff happens. Jesus. There it is. And it didn't go through?
It's okay.
Oh. Well, this will be fun. Our surprise our guest.
This is Jesse.
Jesse Saunders, ladies and gentlemen. We hate to just put you straight on the air, but that's just the way this stuff works sometimes. The two-time Cup champion car chief for Kyle Larson, who is from the Madison area. What is your hometown anyway? I forget.
New Glarus.
Oh, it's not really Madison.
Home of that really good tasting
I
beer.
was just gonna say, home of the tasty beer.
Yeah. There's two things from New Glarus: me and some beer.
Well, right. And you're the only champion in the group. And now for the second time, this is pretty awesome for you, for your team, for your driver. We watched the banquet the other night. Cliff Daniels did you right. He mentioned you by name and talked about the rest of the crew, and it was really great. It's a real honor to have watched you race in Wisconsin and go on and see you have this kind of success in NASCAR. Congratulations from all of us.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. It's cool. It's obviously people that know me know I'm super proud to be from Wisconsin. So and I feel like there's some pretty rich history as far as Wisconsin people in the sport. So to be a part of that is and that's all I could ever ask for.
Now, you had that call. It seemed like a no-brainer. Well, first of all, according to Brian Schmidt, one of our co-hosts here, said that you only had 2 tires left to put on the car last week. Is that right?
Yeah, Phoenix is one of those where you pretty much use your allotment up, or you'll have one set left at the end of the race. And when we blew that tire, we used up that extra set basically. So yeah, we had our qualifying scuffs from the day before. That was all we had left as far as fresh. So yeah, they weren't even stickers. They were they had a lap on them.
So were you watching the video when you saw Denny taking 4 and thinking to yourself, "Oh my gosh, he left the door wide open for us"?
It's hard, right? Like, yeah. I mean, obviously, super. Once we saw that, it was kind of like it became even more real that we have a shot here. Because I think we were just kind of we only had one option. That was the only thing we could do. So it was almost kind of a no-brainer for us in terms of the 2 tires, but obviously being on the side where we've had good cars and stuff like that, like I didn't blame them for taking 4 because we've done that too, where, it's a green, white checker. You put 4 tires on a really good car. You have one good corner, and then you're there. And, but when they did it, it was kind of like, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, we got a shot here. And that's all you can ask for. And so it just built it up for the excitement for the guys behind the wall. We all kind of got amped up right after that.
Jesse, if you had 4 tires, would you have put them on the car?
I don't think so. No, I really don't. I think our play was just that. We needed something where we could get fresh air, and that was our best shot at it. So.
And you had done a 2 tires earlier in the race, I think that the time before, and the fall off wasn't as bad. So when he did it, I myself was thinking, ooh, this is probably a decent shot, especially since Denny did the 4.
For sure. And that was kind of a blessing in disguise in its own right, because we did that. We ended up maintaining pretty pretty decent track position. So it kind of told us, you can only do it so many times, but with a green, white checkered, it's like, all right, we have a shot with this. It wasn't like, you see some restarts and people tank and they're 15th on lap 1. We felt like, okay, we can do something with this. And it almost furthermore kind of made it surprising for the 11 in terms of like, they knew we didn't have the car they had, and we did really well with right sides. So I almost at first thought that we kind of showed our hand, and it's like, okay, they're going to take 2 because they saw us with probably a 6th place car do really well. They've got the best car, but yeah, hey, I'll take it.
Didn't pay attention. Plus, you got the guy in the seat that's probably one of the best drivers on old tires anyways. I mean, if anybody can get something out of a car that needs, when the car isn't completely there, we get most out of it, I think it's Kyle Larson. I mean, you saw right away, you went to the top one right around those other 2 guys, and suddenly you had a gap between him and the 11. So you had that going for you, too.
Yeah, I'll take Kyle Larson anytime.
It seemed to me that you had a car in early practice, late practice, all the practices. You had a car to me that was dominant and was capable of leading every lap. And yet in the race itself, Hamlin's car was superior to everybody. And he just kind of had the bad breaks. But, did you feel like you had the car that could lead every lap going in?
So I thought we were going to be okay. Our long run speed was pretty decent. We didn't have the fire off speed, that's the name of the game now in this sport, is you got to have the fire off speed and then decent enough car to maintain it. And Cliff and the engineers have done a really good job over the years. I think if you look back, like our bread and butter has always been our long run speed. And so that's something that, we got to work on. But more than anything, qualifying was honestly, I was like, man, if we can get the pole and you can get that fresh air, I know I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it, because I know I am too, but it's the sport that we're in right now. If you can get that fresh air, you can maintain track position pretty well. If you have an issue that gets you kind of out of it, we just didn't have the car that could just muscle through the field. I feel like if we could have got up there, and we probably could have stayed up there, but just not maintain it coming through the field.
Gotcha. We're talking with Jesse Saunders. He's the car chief for Kyle Larson. Jesse, I didn't ask you this in advance, but can you hang in there with us as we do a commercial here and come back?
Yeah.
You got anywhere you got to be?
No, the kid's napping, so I'm free right now.
Beautiful. We'll be back with Jesse Saunders after this.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Welcome back to LTN. The week after Kyle Larson wins his second Cup championship, and the car chief with strong ties to the state of Wisconsin, having raced at Madison in his formative years, and is a regular old cheesehead guy. Jesse, you got to tell me, what's it like working with Kyle Larson, generally regarded as the best, well, at least. Let's not say include the formula guys. I think, though, he's the greatest driver alive.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, super biased, but man, he's pretty cool. I've been fortunate. I worked with Jimmy, and then Kyle took over, and they're both just super laid back guys. Kyle is, I don't know. It's easy to see why he's good because he can take in so much information. He puts a lot of work and effort into it, and he doesn't really get riled up. So he just really has a lot of tangibles that I think play into just a good race car driver in general. And then I don't know, just all the seat time he's acquired, his racecraft it's fun to watch, and if we give him a good car, it's a lot of fun.
That's the biggest thing I've noticed about him is his calmness. Even he was racing here at Plymouth this summer, and he broke a hub or broke an axle on a sprint car and went flying up into the fence, and he doesn't even get rattled. And I even asked him about it on Thursday at the media thing. He goes, yeah, I my axle broke and I went up there and hit the fence. I mean, just so matter of factly, like he doesn't get riled, and you don't see him getting worked up about anything.
No, and that's actually a really good point. We've had some pretty hellacious super speedway hits and stuff like that, and you kind of worry a little bit, like, all right, is that gonna slow us down next week? Well, we kind of build our confidence back up, and I mean, heck, after the race, or after he clears the medical center, he usually comes by and sees us, and man, yeah, he's already moved on, and it wasn't a thing. So I think that's obviously, if you're racing every night, that's a huge ability to have, is to just move on to the next one. And I think that's also what helped carry us through kind of this summer. Just an off part for us, but it was always turn the page and move to the next one.
When he first came up, the word was that he didn't know very much about chassis and what to tell the crew chief and to suggest things for setups. How is he, and has that changed?
Not really. No, he's very very open about it. He just, I stay in my lane, and he's obviously experienced, so he kind of knows, like, hey, yeah, I didn't like that run, or that doesn't, I mean, if it's little things, but I mean, pretty hands off. He just gives really good feedback, and obviously Cliff is super dialed in. That relationship has grown so much that there's a lot of trust in what Kyle's telling him, and trust from Kyle on what Cliff's going to do. So fun to be a part of and watch that grow from the beginning.
Yeah, I noticed that it seems like they are on the same page a lot. Like they speak the same language. You know, Kyle may not be able to tell exactly what to do with the car, but he can really relate what's going on with the car, and Cliff can understand that. And speaking of Cliff, at the award ceremony, he gave you a pretty good shout out, like a really good long, congratulations and thanks for being a part of the team and how much you really mean to it. What does the car chief do on the team? What are your duties as far as Cliff's the crew chief, you're the car chief. What are you responsible for?
Well, everyone's a little different in how they kind of set up their team, and basically the way Cliff and I kind of have it going is, obviously first thing is I carry out, whatever he wants as far as build specs and setup stuff, and it's a lot of just more delegation, besides then just kind of reviewing the car and kind of just trying to keep an eye on it. We just, as far as the way the 5 team operates, we put a lot of trust in our guys, so we have a front end mechanic, an interior mechanic, and a rear end or underneath mechanic. And the 4 of us work closely together and put a lot of trust in those guys because the sport's evolved a little bit. We have, meetings and things like that take me away, especially on Tuesdays when we kind of break down the weekend from before. So I'm kind of pulled from some of that stuff. So just keeping that communication open and keeping them, involved and just making sure that the items get carried out essentially, and then make sure the car is prepared to go to the racetrack and then what racetracks, pose different things, make sure we're prepared for kind of any of the events or the what ifs that could come up for the weekend.
I have to go back into my memory, and I'm sorry if I'm bringing up a sore subject, Jesse, but for your first championship, weren't you thrown out?
I was, yeah. In 2021.
I thought so. It's when they finally throw out the car chief on the car, right?
Yeah. So you get one free roll through tech. And if there's any issues or whatever, you go back and you fix them. And when we came back through the second time in 2021, there was a different issue that they didn't like. So rule is car chief gets ejected, and we had failed actually the first time through this year, and there was actually a calmness to it because I figured it kind of works. So if I get kicked out, it's not the end of the world. But luckily, got her through tech on the second try and got to be a part of it this time.
Well, it's pretty awesome having the success you're having after coming through the short tracks. You never really worked at any of the chassis companies in Wisconsin on your way through, did you?
I worked at Pathfinder. That was actually, I worked there. I worked there for Kevin. When I turned 16, I drive down there on Saturdays. And then went full time when I graduated high school. And then when Joe and Jason bought it, I went with the company and moved to Sun Prairie and worked there for a couple of years until just my own racing career kind of was fizzling. So needed to abort and find a plan B. So
it sure figures it fills in some of the gaps there. That's for sure. Well, it's really great having you represent all of us cheeseheads, and we're glad you could take a little time to come on with us and talk about your career and what it's, how proud we are of you and of that team and the fact that you won your second championship. It's pretty awesome. Jesse, thanks for being on, and we hope to have you on again in the near future.
Yeah, anytime, guys. I appreciate it. And, we're going to put our feet up for a couple months, and we'll get back after it.
There you go. Jesse Saunders of New Glarus, Wisconsin. We have to sneak away to a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang in there with us.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Welcome back to the program. For those of you who follow our Facebook page, you may have noticed we posted yesterday that Susie Kluka passed away yesterday, Ed's widow. When I tell you that she's one of the nicest people that's ever walked on this earth, I'm not kidding you. For one, she had to put up with Ed, and that ain't easy. And she did, and they were a pretty damn good team together. She had to endure a lot in her later years. Of course, by now you know that Michael, her second oldest, passed away first. When was that? About 22 or thereabouts, I think.
2021, right after the Bucks championship.
21. Oh, that's right, because it was part of the quote-unquote celebration. And then, of course, in May of 23, Ed passed away of heart-related problems. And earlier this year, her oldest son, Scott, another member of the Earnhardt team from back in the day, he passed away. And now Susie died. The only one left is sister, Kathleen, who I spoke to yesterday. And, it's she feels, as you might imagine, it's a kind of an odd feeling when you're the only one left of the family. She had something that I don't really understand called C. diff. It's some kind of a infection, and it ended up costing her life. Recently, she went to an intermediate care facility and wasn't there very long, and had to go to what's it called, Marge? Hospice. Yeah, I forget the name. She went to hospice and wasn't really there that long either. It's kind of a fast process. She was 83 years old, and when I tell you how wonderful she was, you better believe it. She was A1 and all of us are thinking of her today, and of Kathleen and the rest of the kids and grandkids, and it's a bad day for all of those involved. Dan, it was court week again. We've learned that Hendrick and Penske supposedly are both going to be deposed. They're going to have to come in and sit in court and get asked stupid questions, and who knows, maybe even have to open their books. Is this really what they want?
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing came down on November 4th, which was the summary judgment ruling for the teams 2311 in front row on the defining the market, which was premier stock car racing, which is what they wanted to define it. In other words, NASCAR's argument said you guys can go race an IndyCar, you can race an IMSA, race in some other series is now moot. You got to look at just the stock car market, which is pretty much just NASCAR alone. That's a big loss for NASCAR and a big win for the teams. That the issue is now going to be do they illegally use their power to keep there from being competition for premier stock car racing, which is pretty much NASCAR racing. That's the big one. And then they, of course, wanted to bring in Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske as witnesses and depose them. And Hendrick and Penske filed motions to say that if we are, it's going to be very limited to what we're going to talk about. Everything's not wide open and argued. They don't want their books open either. So it seems like I'm not sure who's going to win this again. We say it all the time. This screams a settlement somewhere, but I don't really see both sides actually, coming down and sitting down and trying to get a settlement. What settlement works for everybody?
No kidding. That's pretty much it. And this is coming fast. December 1st is right around the corner, and that's when we start pulling pants down in court. I'm like you, Dan. I still believe they're going to have to come up with something before the court date. Otherwise, it looks as though Basketball Jones just wants to end NASCAR because that's what's coming.
Well, it's a fallout afterwards. I mean, that's the thing is, can everybody pick up the pieces after it all lands? And that's I'm not sure all that's in place to do that. If it blows up as big as it says everybody thinks it's going to. I mean, you can see all these. If it goes to court, when it go to trial, it's called Pacer. There's a website called Pacer. You got to pay a download fee. It's like $5 for so many different pages and stuff. And there's probably thousands of pages. If you want to spend the money, you could get it all and read it all through it and see it. And I just think opening that up is just going to cause such a can of worms that I'm not sure how do they recover from it.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. If you were listening last week when we were talking about the new Dodge truck team on its way, the Colleague racing team is going to be the Dodge truck team. They announced their drivers. Butterbean Queen is, and they got him under contract. I think that was a good move. I don't even know if he brings money. Justin Haley, who has the most experience, and he's a Cup guy. He's taken a step down, probably going to bring some stability to the whole team. Daniel Dye, whose family is Dodge dealers, I guess, out in California. There's another driver.
Florida. They're in Florida.
Is that where it is? Okay. There's another driver still to be named. You guys seem to think it might be that Victoria's Secret model.
Corey Breidinger.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
She's the eyebrows.
Yes, the eyebrow girl.
She's got some eyebrows on her, that's for sure. And the fifth driver is supposed to be a contest winner, something to the effect of the old Gong Show. They're going to try out drivers. Now, you might think it is not the smartest thing to call Todd Bailing up and tell him to keep his mouth shut, but you know who one of the drivers is that's being tested right now. And I do. And it's a local name. And everybody knows him. And I can't say who it is. So it's going to be someone from this neighborhood, okay?
Well, and you already told us him, so thanks, Todd.
Well, how many females are there?
Which neighborhood are we talking about? Your Arizona neighborhood or your Wisconsin neighborhood?
Wisconsin neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, not out here. Come on.
And it can't be racing this weekend in Nashville, obviously, because it's going on right now.
I didn't tell you to start figuring it out.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah.
I'm just saying it's someone from Wisconsin. I didn't say they're down there and getting tested right now.
Where is this reality show and where can we watch it?
It's not, they don't know yet. I think they're filming it, and there's a lot of speculation going on where it is, but I think it's happening in probably tracks around Virginia area, somewhere around there. And
like, what platform is it going to be shown on? Like over the air TV, or is it going to be like a Netflix thing, or anybody know any of the specifics?
They're probably still negotiating that out, Brian.
Right.
They're going to shop it around after they get it all filmed.
There's some Cars Tour drivers that, the word came out. You see a lot of guys aren't competing places this week. Don't think they're not busy. They're actually doing something that nobody can talk about, which everybody's talking about.
Daytona's only 3 months away, so the cat will be out of the bag before the show is aired, then one would think, right? I mean, we roll out to Daytona with the Truck Series that second Friday in February, and we're going to know who the winner is, right?
It's only like a 3-part series or something like that,
Maybe.
It's a short run. It's a short run.
Bunch of drivers. It's not. It's going to be a bunch of people, and they have to go through them all and figure out who the finalists are.
Didn't we do this already with Roush and the Gong Show? It's kind of that, isn't it?
Right.
It is. It seems like that's what it is. I didn't get a lot.
How did that work out?
I got Kurt Busch.
It got a bunch of guys. Not that many that hung around very long, but yeah, Kurt Busch. That's not a bad name.
Was Todd Cleaver part of that, right?
Todd Cleaver was in
Cleaver?
it.
Yeah, I think Cleaver was part of that. Yeah,
certainly was, and he hung around for some time, and there were others that came and went, and that
Who was the West guy that supposedly did so good but didn't have any money behind him? Brandon Ash, was that his name or something? He did really well in the Gong Show, but didn't have nothing to.
There was a New York.
And that's the problem with it. This is all just for. You could have a really great driver, but if they aren't going to be bringing money at the end of the day, it ain't going to matter.
Unless they have some kind of agreement with a sponsor, because they're going to get all this attention that to bring in different drivers and then perhaps give different guys a chance at it. And who knows? Maybe they'll have more than one.
That's a great pipe dream. I hope you're right.
Yeah, it's a good way for these guys to come up. We're going to come back with some results. They're racing. They're racing from coast to coast. And we'll get some of those results when we come back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Big week of dirt track racing across the country will start in Charlotte, North Carolina, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The World Finals for the World Racing Group's 3 premier divisions kicked off night number 1 in the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Rico Abreu grabbed the feature win there. The World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Models, Hudson O'Neal with a last corner pass on Brandon Shepard. I mean, he got him at the line. The announcer didn't even know who won the race at the time, and I didn't either. I thought Brandon Shepard won the race. They play it back, and there Hudson O'Neal had him by, I don't know, a couple feet. It was a hell of a finish. In the Super Dirt Kart Series Big Block Modifieds, Matt Shepard was your Thursday night winner. Friday night, Casa Grande, Arizona, the Central Arizona Raceway. Todd, you were out there for this race, correct?
I did go, yes. Well, our friends, the Cool family, raced out there. The brother-sister act both had cars they had never driven before. It was the first time for Taylor in an A mod. She's always been in a sport mod, so it was fun to watch.
IMCA modified feature winner was Austin Cool. That was kind of cool to see him win that race. And in the IMCA,
it was super cool, he says.
Yes, in the IMCA stock cars, it was Bo Partain. Fort Worth, Texas, the dirt track at Texas Motor Speedway. The Power Eye Wing Sprint Cars, Aaron Reitzel was your feature winner there. Super Late Models was Cade Dillard, and the USRA Modifieds went to Cade Dillard as well. Night number 2 at Charlotte for the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World Finals. For the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, David Gravel picked up the feature win in the late models, 15,000 win. That went to Jonathan Davenport. And the Super Dirt Cut Series Big Block Modifieds went to Alex Payne. Last night in Peevely, Missouri, the I-55 Raceway, the Fall Frost Classic. For the UMP late models, Mike Harrison was your winner, and the UMP Modifieds went to Kenny Wallace, the Herminator, winning in November still. He wins all the time, I think. Casa Grande, Arizona, night number 2 of the showdown at Central Arizona Raceway. In the Modifieds, Cole Sarneski, Wisconsin guy, made the trip out there. Took home some money from Arizona. That's always a good thing.
Brought a couple of cars with him. He's racing a stock car, too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's well-rounded in the dirt track stuff. In the IMCA stock cars, Bo Partain was your winner. Night number 2 in Fort Worth, Texas at the Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track. Power Eye Sprints, Aaron Reitzel won again. Late models went to Cade Dillard, and the USRA Modifieds went to Reese Solander. Final night at Charlotte, at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World Finals. In the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, Buddy Kofoid was your feature winner. Your 2025 World of Outlaw Sprint Car champion for the second year in a row is David Gravel. World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Models $25,000 to win feature winner was Jonathan Davenport. And your 2025 champion is Bobby Pierce for the second year in a row. And in the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds, Matt Williamson picked up the feature win, and is also the 2025 champion. But that is not it. There was one race paying even more last night. In Las Vegas, Nevada, the bull ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yes, it's pavement, but they were running winged open-wheel 410 sprint cars. $50,000 to win a 100-lap 410 sprint car feature, and Cody Swanson took home the big money there last night. I saw some highlights of it. They had some pretty nasty wrecks with those things, too. You see winged sprint cars racing around on the pavement. That'll make your head spin, literally. But Cody Swanson is one of the best there is on the pavement, and a $50,000 paycheck out of Vegas last night. Pretty cool. And that is everything for this week.
On to the asphalt side of things. South Boston Speedway ran on Friday night, late model stock car 250 lapper, and Caden Honeycutt was the winner. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is where all the action is this weekend for the All-American 400. The All-American 100 was last night with the JEGS CRA All-Stars Tour. The winner was Corey Doozer after Hunter Wright and Tristan McKee tangled on the restart on the backstretch. Notable finishes, Stephen Nasse second, Keelan Harvick eighth. Today will be the All-American 400, although it's actually 300 laps because they add the 100-lap Pro Late model to make it a 400 weekend. That race will be at 1 p.m. on Track TV today if you can't get there. On the pole, Dawson Sutton. Cole Butcher will join him on the front row for the start. Stephen Nasse qualified fourth, Derek Thorne eighth, Casey Roderick ninth. Ty Majeski had a shock come apart during qualifying and was 11th in his time trials. Penn Sauter will be right outside of Ty at the race on the start at 12th. Levon Vandergeest 16th, Ty Fredrickson 17th, Gabe Summers 22nd, Austin Nason 23rd, Derek Kraus will roll off 24th. And again, that race is going to be at 1 p.m. Driver introductions at 12:30 today on Track TV.
And that race last night, the 100-lap race, Slinger Speedway's late model champion, Jaden Johnson, was down there. I think
I missed him. I'm so sorry.
14th or 15th. I mean, he did pretty good. I mean, for his first time down there and stayed out of trouble. They had a big wreck in the backstretch. He kind of got swept a little bit in it, but I think he still finished the race.
And a good run for Jade Evidician, one of the dirt ladies moving her way up there to get a third-place finish, avoiding the carnage. Some of the moves I saw her make last night, I think she's starting to get the asphalt stuff figured out.
Pretty cool stuff. By the way, Track TV, if we want to watch it today from Nashville, how much does it cost and what do you get for your money?
There's two options. You can do a yearly thing if you want. I think that's like $120, or you can do a monthly thing, which is $29.99. And then you can cancel right after that if you don't want to keep it in longer than that. But if you do it monthly, right, Brian, you get like 3 races for that.
Yeah. So I purchased last night. I watched last night's race. I'll watch tonight's race, and then next week the race from New Smyrna is also a part of it. The Governor's Cup is also going to be on Track TV this year, so you'll be able to get a couple races for it.
By the way,
kind of look at the schedule and try to figure it out where you can get a couple in a row.
What does that Governor's Cup pay this year?
I think that's like $30,000.
Yeah.
Wow. They didn't even have a good car count for that last year, if I remember right.
But it's a Southern Super Series race this year, so I think you're going to get some of the Southern Super Series guys there.
So that's Track TV. If you want to watch the final today from Central Arizona Raceway, it's an IMCA event, imca.tv. I will tell you that I think it's overpriced. Every event is like $27.99. And, there's some people that think that's well worth it, I guess. I'm not one of them. I'd rather spend the money and watch Nashville. But take your pick. There's no Packer game till tomorrow night, right? They're playing Monday night?
Correct.
The World Series is over. NASCAR is over with. I mean, oh my God, isn't there a formula race today?
There is, yes, but I'm not sure exactly what time that is. I believe they're down at Interlagos, Brazil, maybe.
This is the time of year, Todd, where you're supposed to pay a little attention to your spouse, or in Dan's case, maybe get a dog, and then
Dan, listen, when you're retired, it's a 24/7 thing, okay? We do everything.
Or maybe Dan's going to actually develop a very serious relationship in this, whatever we have, 2-week stretch of off season.
Love racing.
I'd look at his watch in 14 days and say, I was just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. Valentine's Day is Daytona, isn't it? Crap.
I'm a little worried, I have to tell you. We're flying to Florida. We're going to be there for that Freedom Factory race. Will there be an airplane for us that won't get canceled? Oh my God!
That's why I'm driving.
Everything's paid for, and it's too damn far to drive from here. I'm not doing it. We'll sneak away for our last break and be back. Thanks for listening. We'll be back after these.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Well, there's a few things going on we can tell you about. This week, it was announced over there that Connor Zilisch is going to get number 88 when he comes to the Cup Series, which means they've taken the number away from SVG. Is that a big deal? Oh, my God. He's so happy to get number 97 back that he started crying. That's his family number. It's the number he won his championships with. It's the number his dad raced with over in New Zealand. It's a big deal that he's back in that number. And really,
it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that Zilisch gets 88 because he's kind of made that his brand with the wins in the Xfinity Series.
No doubt.
Now, the 99 is open now, right? Because
completely fun, yeah.
See, online, Brad Keselowski's kind of like, wonder if maybe, go back to Roush. Would that come full circle or what? Remember Brad Keselowski flipped the 99 car to win his first race at Talladega, and how many times did that 99 flip Brad Keselowski and wreck him? Their thing. Imagine
that was one of their numbers forever. But they dusted off number 60, and I don't know that they would want to put it back on the shelf or not. Yeah, who knows? We'll find out. Once again,
think about this: if you run 99, you only got to buy one number.
Chase Elliott was the most popular driver again. Is this some kind of surprise? Oh, hell no, it's not a surprise. For those of you who were worried, thinking Parker Retzlaff somehow got fired from that Alpha Prime deal he was in this, there was kind of loud last week when his crew chief and his car owner got into a pissing match and shoving match because he didn't want him to put used tires on the thing at the end. Parker Retzlaff basically fired Alpha Prime and took his money over to Viking Motorsports. They bought out much of Colleague's O'Reilly stuff. That's the Xfinity stuff. The crew chief is going to be a guy named Danny Effland. And apparently everything's good there. It's a nice move. Parker feels better about it going over there, and good for him. I think it's not anything that he did to get himself fired. He basically said, I want to go somewhere where they might not put old tires on my car. Chastain has himself a new crew chief. When I see the name Brandon McSwain, I wonder myself is that some relation to Fatback? Remember Fatback McSwain? What a great name that was. The crew chief there's name was Phil Surgeon. He has been kicked upstairs, and this Brandon McSwain was an engineer for the number 24 car. And he was actually William Byron's Xfinity Series crew chief when he won the championship several years ago. So he's getting a nice boot upstairs. He's now going to be a crew chief for Chastain, and let's see where that whole thing goes. Corey Day. I don't know that much about him because I'm not as fluent in dirt track as you guys are. Corey Day, in his limited time racing in the Cup Series, in the NASCAR and pavement, is going to get a full-time gig to drive the number 17 Hendrick O'Reilly Series car next year, and Xfinity, Busch. Okay, so he's shown a lot of talent, hasn't he, Brian? I mean, in the limited time we've seen him, enough for Hendrick to say, I want to send him a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if going straight to the Xfinity Series is the way to go, but yeah, I mean, we watched him last week, Saturday night in the Xfinity race, and he kind of comes and goes, and that's what you can see with a guy that's trying to learn the sport. But he's basically skipping the ARCA and the Truck Series and heading straight to the Xfinity Series. Hey, maybe he won't develop a lot of the bad habits you see guys develop running them low power ARCA and trucks.
He's 19. He's very young. He's going to be 20 here shortly. But my God, another real young prospect that Hendrick is smart enough to go sign, right?
Yeah, and he's a hell of a wheel in a sprint car. If you watched him race it all this weekend in Charlotte, holy cow, some of his moves are pretty breathtaking.
Speaking of racing at Charlotte, I guess they had Ty Gibbs in a World of Outlaw car?
Yeah, he put a wing sprint car together. He debuted it way back in March when the High Limit Series ran out at Vegas, had a hellacious wreck on the backstretch at Vegas to the point where we're like, I don't know if Mom's going to let him continue to do this, but he's been running it off and on. Running the World Finals is a tough way to really get your feet wet in a sprint car because you're running against the best in the business. But he's got a sprint car, and I believe he does some of that micro sprint racing at Millbridge on Wednesdays and Tuesday nights with a lot of the other Cup guys as well. So he's dabbling with the dirt stuff a little bit.
Is it my imagination, or are we finally coming full circle where you just don't have to be made of money to get an offer? If you can really drive, like, I don't know what kind of money this kid brings with him, but if he's got himself a contract to drive for Hendrick, I like to think he's got the talent to do Hendrick right. And I don't know if Hendrick requires guys to bring in a lot of money, like, say, for instance, his two-time champion Kyle Larson, right?
Sure seems that way. I don't know a lot of the backstories of Corey Day. He's been racing out west in California for a lot of years, so I don't know his financial status as to what he brings, but they were quick to snatch him up and put him in an asphalt car quickly without doing the normal process you do with late models ARCA and trucks.
It's a great thing. I mean, I really like it. They're going to continue to look for guys with talent rather than talent and money. It depends on the car owner, it seems like to me. So if you're a Hendrick, you can afford to put anybody you want, and you take the guy with the most talent, whether or not he has the most money. So that's the way that works. Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the program today. For those of you who listen live, and if you get this program on a webcast of some sort, and you're listening to our podcast, if you want to listen live, you tune in Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock Central Time on either our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, and we'd love to have you there. In the meantime, for all of us involved with the program, we want you to remember that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer and website coordinator is Matt Losey. And for all of us involved with the program, we consider it an honor that you tune in, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.